The reason why we're addicted to toxic people is because we misplace our own sense of self-worth, self-esteem in the wrong places, or the wrong things, or the wrong people. I'm going to talk through, first of all, a couple of steps of how we develop our self-esteem over the years. Then we're going to look at how do we preserve our self-esteem, how do we fill those gaps, and lastly, I'm going to look at how you can enhance your self-esteem. So those of you who are new to my channel, what I do is I go and focus on areas, on things that we don't often speak about, that impact the quality of our relationships with others. So if you don't want to miss out on how to enhance your relationships, hit the subscribe button and turn your notifications on so that you don't miss another upload. Let's start with how your self-esteem is developed. Now, this starts right from infancy, from the day you're born. In terms of a developmental psychology, there's certain milestones and certain phases that you have to go through as you develop. So your parent or your primary caregiver needs to do certain things to get the optimal development in you. Now, I'd like to just use an analogy. If we take a tree and we place a tree in the right place and the soil is well fertilized, the gravity is perfect and direct sunlight, those are the optimal conditions in which a tree will grow erect, be upright, and absolutely flourish. In the same way, us as human beings, we need certain conditions in which we need to flourish. So from childhood, you need a primary caregiver who takes care of your needs. Gone are the days when we say, leave the infant to cry, he's just spoiled. There's no way an infant is spoiled. That infant is hungry, it has needs. Its basic needs need to be met in order for that developmental phase to be optimized. Now, self-esteem is a very, very important aspect that needs to be nurtured over your lifetime. I want to start off with infancy and also when you're a toddler. What is very, very important, and this is probably the fundamental years, those former years, is that the primary caregiver actually takes heed of your feelings and your emotions. You go through the terrible two phases, but you need a nurturing parent or nurturing caregiver that's going to be there that'll help you feel it's okay. Unfortunately, from our childhood, we develop wounds. It's almost like a blank computer too. You have a blank computer, and as you start programming it, all those commands run automatically. Same with you from your young childhood. You start getting input from those around you, and it starts forming your programming, what we call your deep unconscious programming, that in the latter part of your life, it starts impacting you, in particular when it comes to your relationships. Now, I don't want to be stuck in the past, and I'm not the type of person who wants to always blame my parents or the caregiver. They did the best they could, and this is not about knocking them. However, the reality is that you, in your adulthood, need to take responsibility for your own well-being. The word responsibility means you have the ability to choose how you're going to respond. If you didn't have the nurturing, you didn't meet those milestones, you are at a disadvantage later on in life. Then as it progresses and we go through to school, if you land up having some children that bully you, or you land up having a teacher that took a disliking to you or over-disciplined you, all of it starts knocking and chipping away at your self-esteem. What is that self-esteem that develops over the years? It's your sense of self-worth. And then you start going out later on as a teenager, and if you're not with it, with the in-group, the popular group, your self-worth gets chipped away. And you probably more than likely land up in a toxic relationship because you don't feel good enough. You don't feel as though you even deserve to have anything better than what you're getting. And you're quite happy to be breadcrumbed and receive a little bit of love and affection. You're quite happy to be dissed and to be pushed aside because you don't feel worthy. And I'm going to say to you, you are worthy. You do deserve much more than that. Just because you've had a past history that's continuously chipped away at your sense of self-being, self-worth, self-value, doesn't mean you have to continue feeling that way. So preserving your self-worth is about, first of all, taking that step to knowing that you are worthy. The mere fact that you are existing today means that you are worthy. And you do deserve the life that you want. You came to this earth for some purpose, for some meaning. And you just need to unleash that potential. You have that potential within you to do it. However, you need to stop looking in the wrong places. That's how you preserve it. So you need to realize that your self-esteem is not attached to anybody, any place, or anything. It doesn't matter what kind of car you drive, how much money you have in the bank, which friends you hang around with. The mere fact that you exist, the mere fact that you're here watching this video must tell you that you are worthy. So your existence is your self-worth. So how do you fill those gaps? Go right back to look at from infancy. You need to understand you have needs. Get in touch with what your feelings are. Most of us walk around being emotionally illiterate. We don't even know how to label our feelings. And that all started from young childhood because we were never validated. We were always told how we ought to feel. And when we did feel something, especially guys. We know the expression, boys don't cry. So most of the time we were taught to suppress our feelings. So get in touch with those inner needs, and it starts with being more emotionally literate. Start identifying, first of all, what do I actually need? What is this feeling telling me? And from that you can understand how you can fulfill those needs. Because that's the core of what's happened to self-esteem. It's been eroded with everything, as I've mentioned, right from infancy. If this resonates with you, put in the comments when you experienced that shame. Was it in your former years? Was it in school? Was it with a boyfriend? And I'll address you personally. I respond to every comment on every video. So if there's anything particular, please leave your comments. I'll respond to you personally and give you my feedback. That gap is with the inner child within you. Now my question to you is, how would you treat a young child that's gone through what you have? You'd sit with them, you'd nurture them, you'd shower them with love. Now the same with you. In order for you to fill those gaps, sit quietly with yourself. Meditation is a very good technique to help you with this. But an important aspect is to look at the story you've been told, that you've been telling yourself repeatedly over years and years and years of your programming. Change the belief that you have about yourself. You need to change the story that you tell yourself. And a great way to do that is to go in and talk to that inner child yourself. Give your inner child that nurturing, that compassion, that love that you'd give anyone else. It's now time for you to give it to yourself. So now we're going to go to how do you enhance self-esteem. And I'd like to use the analogy of a bucket of water. Now just think and visualize that level of water is your level of self-worth, self-esteem. So you may never take water out that bucket. That means that you're going to reduce your self-esteem. That's the first golden rule. You need to enhance your self-esteem. So you can keep the level of your self-worth or your self-esteem where it is. That's okay. And you can add water to it to enhance, to make yourself feel a lot better. So what are the ways in which you enhance your self-esteem? Don't let anything that happens around you be a statement of your worth. Never allow anything external to invalidate you again. And the minute you find yourself being invalidated, stop yourself straight away. And remember that inner child that I spoke of previously. Go in and nurture and express love. And you know what the reality is? It is going to feel false. It is going to feel uncomfortable. But this is where the magic happens. When you find yourself outside that comfort zone. And I know you probably think this is a load of hogwash and I don't think this is going to work for me. Just try it for at least 21 days and keep on looking in that mirror. When you wake up in the morning, go look at that mirror and the first thing is, you are great, you are worthy, you are amazing. And look past all those imperfections, because trust me, you're the only one who sees those imperfections. You're the only one who's so critical of yourself. So if anything physically is impacting your self-esteem, some examples could be you're in a bad working situation where your boss just disrespects you and treats you poorly. Or it could be something physically, you're not happy with your weight as another example. Or a personal relationship that people take you for granted. So the way you're going to fix it is by small actionable steps. So take small actionable goals every single day. Let's go back to the work scenario. If you're feeling in a situation that you're really bitterly unhappy and you're feeling disrespected, start by building your resume. Every single day, spend a few minutes building the resume and send it out. Take action. Do something that's within your sense of control. And when you've taken action, don't forget to pat yourself on the back. Don't forget to give yourself a high five. Celebrate even the small wins. So if it's the gym, start with a small step. Make it your mission to go to the gym and just walk 5 minutes on the treadmill. So those small steps start making you feel worthy and you realize you are in control. So the enhancement of your self-esteem is about setting yourself those small goals and consistently achieving it over a period of time. And that'll culminate in you having a greater sense of self-worth, and your self-esteem will gradually start increasing once you start achieving. Once you start recognizing what you've achieved and you start feeling good about yourself internally, the outer world will start reflecting that. This is when you don't expect it. You suddenly start getting all the compliments, all the recognition, all the promotion, when you realize you're the one that's in control. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope it helped you understand what self-esteem is and how to develop it. So if you don't want to miss another upload, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I hope to see you all in the comments and in the next video.